Oh, hi! This week, we're gonna upcycle this plain, boring black t-shirt and try one of those chest cutout things. You'll see when we get there, but I haven't done this before and I've been brainstorming all day about it. As I've said before, nothing brings me more joy than doing t-shirt projects. That's not true. I enjoy doing costumes and stuff like that and learning new tricks, but it feels like coming back home when I'm doing a t-shirt project. And this one literally came to me in a dream. I was talking to some old lady at a diner in my dream, and she had a neckline on her shirt that looked like this, and I was like investigating it and then told her I was stealing her idea and doing it for myself, which is a dick move, but also my own brain made it up, so I am gonna steal her idea and give her credit. Shall we name the old woman in my dream? I'll let y'all decide. If that's who's been coming up with all of my ideas, she does deserve to have a name. That little old lady gives me a lot of purpose in life. Oh, we are off the rails already, huh? This should go pretty quickly, but I'm probably gonna overcomplicate it for no reason, as I tend to do. So let's try to stay on track. All right. I have my black t-shirt. Doesn't have to be a black t-shirt, just whatever t-shirt you want to cut up. All the ones I was gonna do have logos that hit too high on the shirt, so I don't want to be cutting through a very important part of the shirt. So if you have something a little lower, it will work with a graphic tee, but we're gonna just work with this plain ass baby, all right? Got my little Choco pencil pen thing. It has this very satisfying sound. It makes the chalk lines that I need, but just a regular piece of chalk. I've seen people use slivers of soap, whatever works for you. I'm gonna use the tank top I have on under this t-shirt as a guide for where this line is gonna go. I have to keep in mind it's gonna get hemmed, so it's gonna get folded down, so it's gonna lower it a little bit, and same applies for the top. I need room to hem it up, so I don't wanna go too high and close to the collar, but I don't want it so low. I do want a curve to it, so I don't know if you can see the line of my tank top right here, but I'm pretty much gonna go a little bit above that and just follow it. I'm gonna start in the middle and then just go along one side because I'll fold the shirt in half and then cut both sides evenly. So I'm gonna bring that line all the way over to the sleeve. Not down the sleeve, but to that seam right there. So it has a little bit of a curve to it, nothing real buck wild. So I'm gonna take this shirt off, not get my fucking earrings caught on anything. Oh God. I started wearing super dangly earrings again. These are the only gold earrings that I enjoy wearing because they're very, very pale. I need to just get over my fear of them getting caught on stuff because the joy they bring me should count for something, you know? All right, then I'm gonna fold the shirt in half front ways. So I'm pulling the center front forward. This is tough because the shirt doesn't have side seams, so it's a little harder to eyeball, but I guess I'll try to line up the bottoms of the sleeves. I would like this to look nice and actually wear this. I'm gonna lay this flat on my desk. Okay, so I have my line here, right? I'm gonna cut right up to the sleeve seam allowance. Okay, I do think I'm gonna take a little bit away from this top section, not much, but just so it's a little bit opened up. So I'm gonna cut like an inch above in the middle and then taper it down until I meet that first cut I made. So it's gonna narrow as I go. That's what that looks like. Now I'm gonna unpick the sleeve seam a little bit either side. Okay, so I've unpicked the sleeve about an inch either side of this little cut. I'm just gonna finish separating the top and bottom of this slice we're taking out on both sides. Now we have a whole separate yoke essentially up here. Now all we're gonna do is hem this up. I'm just gonna fold the bottom of the top flap up twice. You can do as small or big of a hem as you want. I obviously don't want it interfering with the collar. Probably fold it up like a 1/4 inch and then another 1/4 inch. And then same with the top of the bottom flap is just folded up twice. And then you can go completely from edge to edge now that the sleeve is detached in that spot. Is this starting to make sense? I hope this is starting to make sense. I think I'm gonna set up my twin needle to do this stitching because this is like an ideal project to use it for, and it'll make it look real nice because doing a straight stitch doesn't have that much give. I don't want to accidentally pop a stitch, and I'm not particularly chesty. I mean, I'm broad chested, but I don't have giant cans as most of the women in my family do. So there's not gonna be a ton of pulling across here, but you want the fabric to be able to move if it needs to, and I'd rather not pop a stitch and then resew it. So a zigzag stitch is definitely an option. I just don't like how that looks necessarily when it's like a top stitching scenario. I don't mind if it's interior stitching. So yeah, gonna try the twin needle, see how it goes. It should be okay. This is thinner material. When I go over bulky seams and stuff with the twin needle, that is where the frustration comes in, and it doesn't like to stitch properly. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's user error or like it's just not built for that. You can honestly probably leave it free range. That's just not the look I'm going for this. Depends on how punk rock you want to get with this. What am I even saying anymore? Nobody knows. Okay, both flaps have been top stitched. Liking it, looking good. The one thing I forgot is that because some of the bodice fabric has been eaten up by the hems, not a ton, we need the hem's worth, oh thank you, of stretch in the sleeve. So I'm gonna be stretching the top yoke bit a little bit and then also stretching the other bit just a tiny bit, not enough to puck or anything, not to distort it, but it just needs a little bit of wiggle room, which is why this can only really work on like knit material, like t-shirt material. So I'm gonna unpick, not quite to the shoulder seam, but unpick the top section a little bit more and then unpick the bottom, you know, not quite to the seam at the bottom, but you know, a couple more inches. That's the only tweak I've had to make in my plan so far, but otherwise I think we're gonna be okay. Nothing's official till we try it on though, so wish me luck. Okay, then once it's unpicked, I'm gonna start pinning the bottom section along the sleeve seam while pulling it ever so slightly so it'll cover a little bit more of the sleeve section. I want the top hem to overlap the bottom hem, if that makes sense. So I want this finished edge touching the sleeve first. So I'm gonna pin that down, and then the hem from the bottom section is gonna just barely cross over behind that. See where we're going? Maybe. All right, I'm gonna do the same on the other side, and then all I'm doing is stitching that back down. Okay, all reattached. I did just use a narrow zigzag stitch to do that. I haven't serged it yet because I want to make sure this is something I'm actually gonna wear before I, God forbid, change the thread color. What is that smell? Am I turning on the iron for a t-shirt project? Who is she? You know, it got a little warped and wonky, and I want to press it out and kind of get the elasticity to come back, because that's what happens with shirts. You can do that with knits, hopefully. Not that it looks terrible, but you know, like to tighten it up a bit. But this is what the overlapping looks like from the front. Nothing too wild. I may have to do some more top stitching because it doesn't have to go across the whole thing. I would like it to be more prominent here, but maybe we'll close it up a little bit at the sides because bra straps and I don't know, just in case it's too droopy. We'll see. I'm gonna hit this with some steam and then we're trying it on. Fingers crossed we didn't botch this plain black t-shirt I've been hanging on to for the perfect project for some reason for many years. An embarrassing number of years. All right, let's see what kind of damage we did. Yeah, I don't love how this is looking all the way across. I top stitch pretty much right to where my bra straps are. I tuck this under here till there. We can see how that looks. Yeah, okay. This is definitely making it look more like the picture in my head, which I kind of forgot what that was until just now. Sometimes you just get lost in the project as you're going. Suppose I should just measure what that distance is, huh? Let's call it 3.5 inches for me from here across. I'm just gonna do a little top stitching. I'm just gonna try to follow along one of the lines I've already made with the twin needle, just so there's not a weird random partial third line of stitching. All right, this is what that looks like. Oh my God, the reverse camera. I will never be good at my awareness of space. Why I always end up with so many mystery bruises. Cause I'm like, how long has that wall been there? Okay, the actual moment of truth. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God, this, look. Yeah, this feels nice. This is exactly what I was hoping for. I am so happy that when a problem arises while I'm working on a project, my sewing skills have improved enough that troubleshooting is not some crisis where I feel like I'll never be good enough to figure this out. I just kind of improvise and move along to the next tactic. There's always another way to attack the problem. And that also is a testament to my confidence in my sewing ability. But like, I'm very happy about how this came out. I think I might press it one more time. Feels like it's not quite sitting flat, but obviously I don't want to do it while it's on me. Although, am I just pulling on it weird? Let's adjust. It's fun, well ventilated, but I wouldn't be self-conscious about wearing this out in the world. I'm very, very pleased with how this came out. And all in all, not that long of a project. I just did a little bit of troubleshooting, which, you know, is gonna happen almost every time because I can only plan ahead so much. It's just how I'm wired and I'm starting to embrace it. Thank you all so much for following along, and especially to those of you over on my Patreon. I wouldn't be able to take the time to work on these kinds of projects and just noodle around and share the process if it wasn't for y'all. So appreciate it so much. I get to do my favorite thing because y'all care so hard. I promise there's some like costumey stuff coming. There's a particular thing I want to make that's going to be like my Halloween costume this year, I think. Not that I have any events to go to, because I never have events to go to. It's a anime cosplay, which I haven't really delved into too much. I suppose Ramona Flowers is kind of in that territory, like a manga character, but she still has kind of basic clothes. Like, I can dress like her out of my own closet for the most part, but I'm gonna have to make some completely different, not very me pieces for the costume I want to do, which also will probably mean I'll have to go fabric hunting at some thrift stores. But I have some fun kid costumes that I have been requested to make, so I think I'm gonna work on those. So yeah, things are in the works. But if you have any requests or suggestions, I mean, I have short blue hair. I mean, there's a lot of sun damage to it currently, and glasses, so I don't love having my glasses off. I'm gonna have to for this particular character I'm doing, but I feel like it's hard to find costumes that really strike a chord with me that I would also cosplay well. Although wearing the costume and having fun making the costume, it doesn't have to be screen accurate for me to enjoy it, so I don't know why I'm going on that tangent in the first place. The point is to have fun, both making the thing and dressing up as the thing. Before we go off the rails again, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you are all having a great week. I'll see you all back here with another video next Friday, and thank you so much for hanging out. Can you see that? Can I see that?